Alright guys, so there's been a new interview with Andrew Tate's lawyer and they talk about if he's gonna get released or not. You know, I find it very interesting. And just a reminder, please be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe with notifications if you want to be kept updated about everything that's going on in the Tate case. But yeah, just take a look at this interview.
Here, what do you expect to happen next? Do you expect another plea for an extension, or do you expect things to come to a head pretty soon?
So we're going to find out in the next several days. The existing detention order expires on February 27th. And if the prosecution intends to extend that for another 30-day period, they'll have to make that request soon, and then we'll have a hearing on it. Obviously, our hope is that at this point they are released and that it's not extended. But am I optimistic about that? No. And I think an additional factor that weighs in is the tremendous amount of assets that have been seized. So almost $4 million worth of assets were seized from their residence. And unfortunately, that gives the authorities incentive to search and find evidence of some wrongdoing to be able to forfeit and keep assets of that nature. I think the seizure, let's keep in mind, when the police raided their properties and searched them and seized all these items, they didn't find evidence of crime. You know, they've taken these items in the event that they are able to later on show that they're...
Well, they say they're ongoing. They say the investigation is ongoing and the assets...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying a lot. That they have no evidence of any crimes committed. Like, they haven't convicted him of anything, yet they're seizing this much property of his for seemingly no reason. Like, that's the injustice, and it makes absolutely no sense. Comment your thoughts about this.
They say the investigation is ongoing and the assets, some of the assets they've taken are part of that investigation.
Of course, but this isn't a situation where police seized things that are illegal on their face. They didn't, seize contraband, drugs. A lot of times when there are these raids, things are taken which are evidence of crime. In this case, there was no evidence of crime that was seized. These are assets that they're holding on to in the event that they could later prove that these are proceeds of ill-gotten gains. And again, at this point, there are not charges filed against them, and the fact that they have $4 million in assets, it gives them further incentive to detain them and continue to search for some crime so that they could try to forfeit, those sizable assets.
In one of the hearings where they attempted to end the detention, the judge that refused that request said, and I quote, one of the reasons given was the particular, and I quote, the particular dangerousness of the defendants and their capacity to identify victims with an increased vulnerability in search of better life opportunities. That folds into the allegations of people trafficking. Are you satisfied as his lawyer that if this comes to court, you have enough evidence to counter that claim?
We do. We don't. First of all, it's a little difficult because I'm not supposed to comment directly on anything that's happening in the proceedings. As of now, they're closed proceedings.
But without detail, you're satisfied you have enough evidence to counter that?
I do. I don't think there's been any evidence that they're a danger to the community in terms of committing crimes. Again, I think at this point, they haven't been charged with crime.
Well, apparently there's big updates coming in the next few days. And as I've said, they can keep them locked up for up to 180 days, which is just absolute insanity. But yeah, hopefully they will get released. There's not going to be any future detentions for another month. Like, that would be just so stupid. But yeah, guys, give me your thoughts about this in the comments below. Be sure to click one of the videos on the screen right now. That's it, and I'm out.